This is exactly what the Padres need to do with the offseason looming very quickly. These moves will keep the team together. What does that mean for us? Let's talk about it. Hi, welcome back to another episode of Padres Digest with your host, Andrew. We are in the offseason for us. Uh, and it's hard to make videos when there's no games going on. But no, we have tons of stuff for you coming up. I know Christian has a couple videos. I got a couple videos. This will be my first of 2 recordings I'm going to make right now. So we got stuff, but I miss game recaps. They're fun. I had it down to a science. It was good. And then not gonna name names, but some people had to ruin it for us. You know who. Anyways, no negativity, or negativity aside, I should say. Before anything, as always, please subscribe. We're getting close to 2750. Me and Christian can do a nice little co-host collab video. And like I said, already had an idea for that, so be on the lookout for that. But today we're talking about something simple: arbitration. If you guys don't know what arbitration is, I'll explain it in just a second. But basically, we're going to need to spend about $25 million if we want to keep everyone who is arbitration eligible, which are these players, the 7. So that number in the parentheses, that is their service time. So like how many years they've been playing, basically. And the number next to it is how much they are projected to make. This is according to MLB Trade Rumors. We'll get into it with some slides. It's from this article, of course, and the MLB Trade Rumors website. So a little combination of both. But let's start with this, an introduction to it. So 7 Padres are arbitration eligible in 2026 and are projected to earn a combined $24.4 million. Arbitration is the process by which players with sufficient service time but not yet free agency negotiate salaries, usually 3 to 6 years in the major. These projections shape how much money San Diego must commit internally before adding new players. So basically, if a player is in arbitration, they say, hey, this is how much I think I'm worth. And then the team is like, hey, this is how much we think you're worth. And most of the time, they're 2 completely different numbers. And if it ever gets to a point, I think the deadline's in February or something like that. If they don't make it, if they don't agree on a deal by that deadline, an arbitrator comes in and he's like, well, let's see. Do I agree with the player for what he's worth or the team for what he's worth? And then, yeah, whichever one he decides is the amount he'll make the next year. So it's an oversimplification, obviously, but that's the basis of it, right? And we'll talk about it a little bit more in a sec. But like I showed you, here are the 7 players. I got their service time. Jason Adam, 5 years, 1.32. This is his last eligible year. He's going to make projected $6.8 million, and you see in his stats this year, very good: 1.93 ERA, 70 strikeouts, 4 saves, 2.8 WAR for him, wins above replacement. Adrian Morejon, again, on his last year of service time, he should be making around $3.6 million. And you saw him pitch, obviously, 2.08 ERA, 70K, 2.4 WAR. And yeah, Jason Adams should be back for the start of the next year, based off his injury and based off reports. But he'll be back next year for the majority of the year, at least. Gavin Sheets, who we saw and loved, we loved watching him grow into a good, solid hitter. He has 4 years service time. That's around $4.3 million for his projected salary. And again, he's not like league amazing or anything like that, but I feel like he's an underrated name at least. 19 home runs, 71 RBIs. And then JP Sears, 3 years, projected salary 3.5. Not so great, but we've seen flashes of goodness from him, right? Like, he has been good before. And then Campy, of course, you've seen Campy. He'll probably make $1 million. He played horribly in the majors, but he was one of the best hitters in the minor leagues last year in AAA. So hopefully this offseason gives him a chance to revamp, because we're probably going to use him as our backup and have a Fermin Campusano backstop catching duo. I don't know if Diaz will come back. He's a free agent, or he has an option, I think, but whatever. Besides the point. And then on the bottom, it says Super 2 for those 2 players. I'll explain Super 2 in just a second, but Mason Miller, Freddie Fermin, both with around 2, it's around 2 years service time. Miller could make about $3.4 million, Fermin about $1.8 million, and you've seen their stats. You saw how Mason Miller pitches. You've seen how Freddie Fermin catches and has some good clutch hitting. One of the few good hitters during the playoffs this year. So obviously we're keeping both. But let me explain to you what Super 2 is. To be honest, I've never heard about Super 2 until this year. I don't know if that was a new thing or not, but yeah, I've never heard of it. But yeah, I lost it. There we go. So Super 2 explained. Super 2 players are those with 2 to 3 years of service time who rank among the top 22% of that class. They gain early arbitration eligibility, meaning 1 extra arbitration year compared to peers. So Miller and Fermin will get 4 arbitration years instead of 3, giving them more salary leverage earlier. So basically, it's like these players are good and they play a lot of games. And so you have like a rookie contract, right? And that's like 3-4 years, I think. But basically, they would take away 1 rookie year contract and give them an extra year of arbitration. So that basically they would make more money, right? So why that matters? First of all, just to be clear, this is not a Padres choice. This is the MLB Players Association. They're the one who decide the Super 2. So we don't assign them Super 2. They are given Super 2. Does that make sense? So basically, it just gets them more money, right? We still get the same control over them, but they get more money out of us, which you might think is a bad thing. It's good for them, bad for us, maybe, I don't know, but it's a thing, and it's been a thing for a while, and I've never heard about it until right now. So I've learned something new from this job. But yeah, Freddie Fermin, Mason Miller, they're gonna be our Super 2 most likely. So yeah, expect them to make more money eventually. But for right now, I think we'll be okay with what we have. And then just the last little thing, the front office approach, I can read. The Padres last went into arbitration hearing in 2014 with Andrew Kashner. They prefer to settle early. AJ Preller typically comes to an agreement before formal figure exchange deadlines, so he usually avoids arbitration by getting a good deal for most players. In 2025, Michael King's case almost pushed to hearings but was settled later, and this approach avoids distractions, keeps relationships healthy, and gives contract clarity soon. But the big thing, obviously, is Peter Seidler was a part of a lot of those, and he'd like to spend money, let's put it that way. So it was much easier to avoid arbitration if you were willing to pony up more cash. Like, for example, we gave Juan Soto like what, 30 million or something like that 1 year. I don't even remember, but I know we gave Josh Hader like 15 million when he was arbitration eligible. So we weren't afraid to spend then, but now that we're in a different ownership group, spending may not be the same as what it was. So will we enter into arbitration? I don't know, but like I said, AJ Preller doesn't really like doing all that. He's a settler and he's a good negotiator. So what does this mean for the team? Basically, it means arbitration budget is going to affect who we can afford in free agency and who we can bring back and who we can sign. So we don't want anything too high, but we want to make sure we can secure players like these because these are some of our best players on our team. Mason Miller, Fermin, Morejon, Adam, and even Sheets. Like, this is the kind of thing you want to make sure you secure before you go out and sign, massive contracts that keep you from signing these arbitration eligible players. But yeah, just some number stuff. If you're not super huge into baseball, I hope this was a enlightening video for you, let's say. But yeah, who do you guys want? Also, please apply. But out of this list, who do you guys want to re-sign? Do you want to re-sign everybody? Do you think we should just let JP Sears go? Because we don't have to sign him. If they don't sign him, they'll just be I think it's a restricted free agent, I'm pretty sure, or unrestricted. I'm not really sure, to be honest. I'm so sorry. I forgot. I forget things. I am sorry. Okay, I just want to be clear. I had to re-record this real quick. It'd be called non-tender. So if you non-tender a contract to an arbitration eligible player, they would then become a unrestricted free agent, which means they can hit the open market. Don't know why I screwed that up, or I forgot that. My bad. But yeah, just to be clear, restricted free agents are not a thing in baseball. They would be non-tendered and they'd become open market free agents. Just want to clarify that. But who do you guys want to re-sign? Do you think we should re-sign everybody, or do you think we should let people go? And how do you feel about the budget? How much would you be willing to spend on them for arbitration? And yeah, how do you guys feel about everything? Just let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe as always and have a fantastic rest of your day. And go Padres. Please be better. You're hurting me, but please be better. Thank you guys. Goodbye.